What is intuition? Some people believe intuition is their mind's way of providing them with hidden knowledge gained from their past experiences. Other people think that intuition is their inner spiritual voice giving them guidance. Whatever its cause, intuition usually manifests itself in the form of a feeling, a sense, or a thought that cannot be backed up with rational information. Are you an intuitive person? Your initial reaction might be to say no. Lots of people think of intuition as something mystical and beyond their experience, but I would like you to think about this more deeply. Can you remember a time when you knew what was going to happen but couldn't explain how you knew? Lots of us experience these sorts of insights without really noticing them. For example, have you ever been driving in a car and suddenly known that the person in front of you was about to change lanes without looking? Usually we can't explain exactly how we knew, but we are not surprised when it happens. Because this experience of knowing without knowing how you know is so common, we don't really think about it. But that is our intuition in action. And you are probably having these sorts of intuitive thoughts every day, you just haven't noticed. So, perhaps a better way of phrasing my question would be to ask, how intuitive are you, and are there any ways in which you could be even more intuitive? Our research has shown that there are a number of ways in which we can consciously and deliberately enhance our intuitive skills, and by doing so, gain access to a whole new way of generating ideas and solving problems. The skills themselves are very simple, but of course, that doesn't mean they are easy to master. It is very important to develop the skills in the right sequence and to use them accordingly. So what does it take to be more intuitive? First and foremost, we need to be aware. Aware of ourselves, aware of others, and aware of our environment. The simplest path to awareness involves developing mindfulness. Mindfulness is all about bringing awareness to your current experience, paying attention to the river of thoughts, feelings, and sensations that continually pass through you. However, managing attention isn't enough. You also need to cultivate a state of mind that involves curiosity, acceptance, and openness. You could think of it as finding the optimum balance between relaxation and attentiveness. Practicing mindfulness allows us to pick up on the subtleties that we might otherwise miss, and that, in turn, creates the opportunity for intuitive insights. In order for these intuitive thoughts to have meaning, we must practice the second step, which is about being open to what our intuition is telling us. It's not unusual to face a situation and afterwards to realize that you knew you should or shouldn't have done something. In other words, your intuition was trying to tell you something and you didn't listen. Unfortunately, our intuition often speaks to us quite quietly. In addition, it doesn't necessarily speak in clear sentences. Mindfulness allows us to connect with our intuition, but in order to gain from the experience, we must take the time to listen. Then, try to understand what your intuition is trying to tell you. So, at a practical level, how might you use intuition in creative problem solving? Well, there are 4 things you need to do. First, create a climate of trust and openness. This is also true for creativity in general, but when you are dealing with ideas that are not backed up by facts, it becomes particularly important to create a climate in which people feel comfortable enough to put the ideas out there. Number 2, allow the space for intuitive insights. When dealing with challenges, it is important to acknowledge our intuition. You can do this in several ways. You can use an intuitive tool, or you can just say, what is your gut reaction to that? Number 3, take your time with the process, especially when clarifying the problem. Our first reaction when faced with problems is to solve them. However, if we take the time to really be present and mindful with our problems, then we are more likely to clarify the correct problem and solve it more effectively. Number 4, listen to the intuitive response as valuable data. Once you begin to listen to your intuition, you will be amazed at the ideas you have bubbling inside of you.